Will you guys please stop buying Kias and Hyundais? Stop. We're going to show you why today. Let's get started. This is a 2014 Kia Optima. It's here for multiple problems, different things going on. It's going to be over $3,000 to fix it. But I'm going to show you guys another surprise to this car that's going to blow your mind. Some of you already probably know about this, but a lot of you don't, and you need to, and you're going to today. You're going to find out. It has no AC, some clunking in the front end, something's leaking coolant somewhere, and they want to know what's all going to take to get those things fixed. And the parts list added up really, really fast. Before we dive into that, we're going to do a look around the car, but this time I want to pretend, let's pretend together like we're going to buy this car. We're going to look around it. It looks really nice. It looks beautiful. And then you'll get to hear the surprise. Let's take a look at this thing. All right, guys, we're at the used car lot. We're looking at this Kia. You can see one headlight is hazed and crazed on it. It's got some cracking going on, and very, very fine cracking. But the other one's been replaced. But the paint looks fine, the grille looks fine, everything looks nice. The Kia emblem does have some fading going on, which is not a huge deal. As we go down the side, you can see the paint looks good. Keep in mind the dealer has a really good deal on this, really good price. Wheels are good, nice Pirelli tires on it. The paint really looks nice on this car. By the way, it has 200,000 miles on it. The Kia Optima GDI. And as we've walked around, you can see the only paint issues are the emblems. The rest of the car is in really nice shape. It presents well. It actually really does. That side is equally as nice. No dents, rust, or anything going on. There are some small scratches right here above the wheel arch. But this is our $59.99 special on the lot. You guys are looking at this, and some of you may actually buy it today. Let's go open the hood and reveal the surprise. So here's our 2.4 liter GDI 4-cylinder engine. Pretend you guys just bought this. It looks clean, it looks nice. The dealer worked a deal with you. You got a really good deal on this Kia. Car Wizard doesn't know what he's talking about. This is a great car. Here's the surprise. As the customer has relayed to us, this car is on its third engine in 200,000 miles.
What? Third engine? How?
Yes, this is engine number 3. Kia has replaced them under warranty. They haven't had to pay for the engines, luckily. But you just bought this car. It's on engine number 3. You didn't even know, did you? There's a lot of surprises to Kias that can really bankrupt you really, really fast. Let's take a look around the engine bay a little bit more. You can actually see that this engine's not all that old. It's been in here for maybe a year or two. So this valve cover is likely original. They probably just put a long block in with a new cylinder head, new main engine, the main actual long block. But the rest of the stuff was pulled off the old engine and bolted back onto this one, like the alternator, AC compressor, intake, all those things are probably original. Third engine, guys. I'm telling you, you should not buy one of these. This one's obviously currently running fine because it's engine number 3. It's fairly new. Our high pressure pump looks fairly new as well because, well, the engine's fairly new. So there's your big surprise. If you would have known that beforehand, you probably would not have taken the dealer up on their special pricing deal. This weekend only, guys. Special price on this Kia Optima. And you didn't even know it's had 3 engines. You can get into trouble with these things. So let's talk about, obviously the engine's nothing wrong with it. What is wrong with this car? Before we dive into that, let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the interior of this Kia Optima.
Well, there you have it. 201,030 miles. Yikes. Now obviously the gauge cluster back there doesn't look like it's had that many miles on it. It looks nice because, you know, how do they actually really look bad over time? Because they're really not touched, they're out of the sun. But lots of gauges up there. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our key, keep that battery going. Oh, cute. It tells us goodbye. Lovely. But as we move up, it's looking good. I don't see anything really going on up there on that dash. Everything's looking nice. The radio here looks really nice. Got a nice little cell phone slot there with a digital clock next to it. And our climate control. Okay, I get it. That looks nice. Move down. We can see a nice little spot there as well behind our gear selector, and we have cup holders there in the center. On the armrest, we do start to see some wear and tear. The common for many armrests, you get that little break there for where the driver hops in and uses that to help center themselves in the seat. As we lift up, okay, it's got lots of cables and pins and cloths in there, okay, holding and keeping everything nicely put away. The seat, okay, we're starting to see some problems here, and yeah, it looks like maybe their Slurpee has gone sailing across that seat a time or two. Not looking so good, but again, it is cloth. Could be maybe shampooed or maybe put a cover over the top. The door card is looking very nice with ivory on the bottom and charcoal on the top. The back seat's looking okay. We do see empty soda box, a nice sweatshirt, and we can start to see some more problems on the seat, and I would guess that is probably from a toddler, just because that's the spot that gets dirty from their feet beyond the car seat. Okay, I get it. The headliner's in very nice shape. For 200,000 miles, just a nice sea of, well, ivory. And we're back at our steering wheel with all the normal usual buttons, but notice that none of the buttons, the words are still there, nothing is scratched off. We do have a cover over it, and that may be because it is starting to blister, starting to age again with that 200,000 miles. So, okay, the interior is looking all right. Enough of this interior talk. I'm just really baffled. What else could be wrong? It's already had 3 engines. What else could be broken on this thing?
So I've already removed the belly pans so we can see a nice view of the underneath of the engine compartment. And right away we see our coolant leak. You can see it leaking from the side tank right there and just constantly dripping on the ground. Our AC condenser doesn't look too good for condition either. Most of the fins are completely collapsed. Probably half of them are. So that means half of the air is not flowing through it. Those wouldn't have been disturbed during the engine replacements with the S at the end. So this is likely the original radiator, original condenser, all original parts. So we now know we need a radiator, and while we have it all apart, we'll put a condenser on. It's not much more money, the labor is the same, and they'll get much more airflow over this condenser. This one's trashed. It's got a lot of rocks and things that have hit it. As we look at the engine and transmission, our transmission's doing fine. We don't have to worry about the engine because it's basically brand new. We'll be doing an oil change while it's here because that oil filter looks like it's been there for quite a while. We do have a refrigerant leak from this compressor, and even though when we recharged it, it still doesn't work. This doesn't have a clutch like a normal compressor. What turns it on and off is all electronic inside the back of the compressor, and that part has failed. So that's why they have no AC, and that's also why the refrigerant's all gone. So that's what it's going to take to get our AC fixed. That answers that question. And it also answers our question, where's the coolant leak coming from? Now we know. But the suspension is getting very clunky on this vehicle, and they really wanted it looked over. We found a lot of wear and tear. 200,000 miles worth on the suspension. There's a lot of things that have gone bad on it. Let's take a look. Our brakes are nice and thick, but the struts, if you go over an uneven surface, they make a very, very annoying clunking noise. They're just, from 200,000 miles of age, they've gone bad. These sway bar links have a tiny bit of play. You can see the boot has already come loose here. There's actually metal debris coming out of it, sparkly and like a metallic spray paint in there. And then, if I move this wheel back and forth, we can just barely hear the tie rods are loose. You guys hear that? We need new struts, new sway bar links, new sway bar bushings, and also new tie rod ends already. One thing Danielson found when he inspected this, which Danielson checked it over, is the rubber bushings inside of here. It's kind of hard to see, it's kind of inside of here, but the rubber bushing on that control arm is pretty much shot. I looked at just replacing the bushing, and it was like 30 more bucks to buy the whole control arm. Why would you bother just doing the bushing? You can get a whole new ball joint and the front bushing done all in one whack for 30 more bucks. So it's getting new control arms on both sides. Same scenario going on over here. That's starting to crack and tear. This thing's got play in it. The strut is no good. And our brakes are good though. Let's check out our engine again. CV boots are good. This torque mount for the motor is good. Let's continue on our inspection as we move back to the back. Doesn't have a drive shaft because it's front wheel drive only. Here's our cat, resonator chamber. Nice plastic shielding on the bottom. Pretty much covers everything. The one exhaust splits into two. And now we're at the back wheels. Let's see what we got going on here. Nothing loose there. Brakes are nice and thick. Sway bar links are good, but our shocks are not. Look at that, guys. Ugh, it's been leaking for a while. It's blown out. Brakes are good on this side. Sway bar link is good. The wheel is not loose. Oh my, that shock's even worse. Look at that, guys. Ugh. That one's very blown out. So let's get this thing back on the ground and talk about where we go from here.
But Wizard, this Kia has gone 200,000 miles. How can this be such a bad brand?
They're not made to last a long time, and the parts and things that they use are just not very robust, and they have had a lot of bad luck with engines. There's multiple models and makes that have had the same troubles with this engine, some being through 2 or 3 or 4 engines. There's actually a vehicle we had in here, a 2016 or 2014, I'm not sure the year, but click the link in the description below. It takes you to a video we did where a lady had an engine go bad, and it cost so much to put a new engine in. Other than the engine, it was a nice car like this. She said, "Car Wizard, can you arrange for this car to go to the junkyard?" That's the best option for it. Go watch that video, guys. It's crazy. Luckily, that's not what's going to happen here. It's on its 3rd engine, and they've been covering it and doing good about the warranty. If it had done 200,000 miles on its original engine, I'd say this thing's done great. But what kind of car brand has to go through 3 engines to make it to 200,000 miles? You explain that to me in the comments. I'd like to know. So being it has a brand new engine, it's probably likely worth fixing. It probably has quite a bit more life left in it, especially if we take care of the suspension, the AC, and the coolant leak. I started tallying up all the parts, the radiator, the AC compressor, the condenser, the expansion valve, hooking up the AC machine, which is an hour labor by itself, and the refrigerant, and shocks, and struts, and control arms. There's 300 here, 200 there, 500 here, 100 there. And then I added up all the labor. I arrived at $3,000. I was like, wow. I fully was prepared for the customer to say, either I'm not doing any of it, just park it out front, or I'll do a few items but skip the rest. I was fully prepared for that. I understand, that's a lot of money. It really is. But I was pleasantly surprised. This customer didn't bat an eye. We presented the price to him. He could make the choice which ones he'd like to do, which ones he doesn't want to do. He said, "Car Wizard, do it all of it." But, okay, I'm not going to argue with him. And once all this work is done, he'll have working AC, no more coolant leak, quiet suspension. This car may go for quite a while longer. I'm not going to make any guarantees on the engine, though. I don't know how much longer that will go. But we will be doing an oil change while it's here to help that along. So if he can get another 60, 80, maybe 100,000 miles out of this car, being the fact that he didn't have to pay for those engines, they were all free, then yes, it's probably worth it. Especially in this weird time we're in, where stocks are doing weird things. It's getting kind of scary. Some people are kind of worried, some people aren't. It's kind of both sides of the fence there. But it is starting to affect the automotive market. There's a lot of cars that are being really hard to sell. There's supply issues with cars. And you have a car that could go for quite a while longer for $3,000. It's really a no-brainer. Fix it and keep driving it. So if you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this Kia Optima, since we've been approved for the entire job, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. All the tools we use in the shop are for sale there, and if you purchase anything there, we get a small cut and really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, because the shop is so full of cars right now, and there's so many more videos coming down for you guys. Thanks for watching.